Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dan from Two Dudes. I want to talk a little bit about WebGility Unify. WebGility Unify is an automation platform for expense tracking, refund tracking, sale tracking, stuff along those lines. So why is it important? So in the beginning, when you first get started setting up a business, which we'll get into in later videos, when you first start setting up a business, you have an accounting platform, much like what we use. We use QuickBooks Online. Going to have a review on that coming up later as well. And you want to keep track of all your sales. So like Amazon keeps track of all that stuff, but how do you export it? How do you look at analytics? How do you export it as well into that accounting software where it's in a format that your accounting software can understand? Like if you had QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop. Doing it manually is not going to happen. If you're doing thousands of orders a month like we are, you're not going to be able to do it manually. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't even bother trying. And let's say you want to manage this yourself. You don't want to pay for an accountant to do all this right away. You want to be able to manage at least that portion and have your accountant do the taxes and all that crap at the end of the year, right? So this is where WebGility comes in. There's a lot of platforms out there that you can use. I mean, this isn't the only one. This is the one that we use. So this is the one that we can give an honest and accurate review of. We've been using it for good while now, and it's worth every penny. So I'm going to give you an idea of how this kind of works. So WebGility sits in the middle. It's kind of like a man in the middle. So let's say we use QuickBooks Online, so we're linked into QuickBooks that keeps track of all of our business our business bank account when we spend stuff with our business card. We're paying stuff to vendors, but you also need to keep track of your sales and expenses and refunds and stuff like that from Amazon. Amazon doesn't directly link into QuickBooks or accounting software. You need to use something that's third party like WebGility Unify. So what happens is you link in QuickBooks into WebGility, and then you link in, let's say for instance, eBay, Shopify, Amazon into WebGility, and what happens is WebGility takes in all of that information from your stores, like Shopify, eBay, and Amazon. And then what it'll do is it'll compile that information, and then it'll send it into QuickBooks. It's really good for inventory management as well. If you have tens of thousands of products listed, you need to be able to keep track of it. You keep track of it within your store, like Amazon or whatever. But you can also do this within WebGility. That way, if you have multiple stores with the same type of inventory, you can keep track of it there. It makes it a little bit easier to keep track of your inventory. And you can set up inventory alerts as well, which is cool. You can actually do that on Sellics as well. So it's a little, some of these things tend to have a little bit of redundancy built in, but there's different levels that you care about, different features that you care about within these, these third-party, programs that'll help you out. So one of the reasons we use WebGility Unify is for automation. We need to be able to automate all of our sales, all of our refunds, everything from Amazon. We need to be able to automate that into something that QuickBooks can digest, take in, and post to our register, post to our, to what we have, to some of the accounts that we have set up on QuickBooks. You don't want to do that manually. It's going to take you forever, especially if you, like I said, if you're doing even 150, 200 orders a month, it could be unmanageable. You'd be spending way too much time. WebGility automates that. One of the other big pieces is, one of the pieces that it has is expense tracking. So we don't use that feature as much anymore because we use Payability. So when Payability pays us out, it goes directly into Amazon because it comes right into our bank account, and we set up, Payability as a vendor in QuickBooks, and it digests it that way. If you weren't using Payability and you were getting, payments by vendors individually, or Amazon was paying you, that would get tracked in WebGility and automatically put into the correct account and then digested into a register so you can do your credits and debits within your accounting software. So that's one of the biggest pieces, but we use it mostly for sales and refunds tracking. So anytime we have a sale and anytime we have a refund, we get that tracked in WebGility, and then we set up these syncs. So we do mappings. So how QuickBooks digests the information from WebGility, you have to set up a sync between WebGility and QuickBooks so it knows where to put the information, how to track it. We do all ours as sales receipts. You can do it as invoices. Makes more sense to do it as a sales receipt for us, and probably will for you if you're selling on Amazon or Shopify or eBay, any of those stores. And It takes a little bit of manual labor to get it set up, but once you're done, it's literally set it and forget it. We do the biggest key to this, and the one thing I love about it is the automation piece, like I was talking about. But it does it daily. It can even we set it up daily, so it'll take all your sales, all your refunds from the day. At the end of the day, send it to QuickBooks. Every single day, it'll send it to QuickBooks, send it to QuickBooks. Anything that was tracked in the past that was posted, let's say, for instance, you made a sale and then you did a refund, it'll match it up and then send it to QuickBooks, and your books will automatically be adjusted. I cannot tell you how awesome that is. Like, once you start selling and you realize how, if you're not familiar with running a business, if you're not familiar with running an e-com store, a lot of that stuff can become unmanageable right away. You need to start with this stuff early. That way you can get used to it, and that way it's automated from the get-go, and you don't, it'll help you out a lot in the end. If you're still doing this stuff manually or using something that doesn't quite add up, it doesn't, let's say, for instance, you're paying too much and you want to look at a different platform, let's say, for instance, like WebGility to do this for you, then it looks at backlogs. It'll take all the information that you've ever done on Amazon and all the sales or expenses or refunds that you've done on Amazon in the past, and everything that's sitting in your accounting software, and it'll bridge the gap for you automatically. You might have to do a little bit of manual clicking here and there and make some decisions for it, but it's almost automatic. So the automation is huge when you get into e-commerce. You cannot be doing everything manually. It's not going to work for you. I guarantee it. I promise you this. So key benefits: expense, sale, and refund automation. That way it's set it and forget it. You don't ever have to worry about it again. And another piece is inventory management. You can see all your inventory within WebGility and then match it to what's in eBay or Amazon, whatever Shopify, whatever store you're running. So they're all in sync, and you can get some inventory alerts, which is pretty cool. But honestly, the biggest piece is really just having that level of automation with your accounting software. You don't want to be doing that manually. So don't take that lightly. So you're probably wondering, okay, I really like this software. There's levels to it. There's different levels. It's going to depend on how much you pay. So they have a starter plan, a growth plan, and a standard plan. So the starter plan tends to cost you $24 a month right off the bat. You get a little bit of discount if you pay annually. All of the third-party software that you work with is going to do that. If you pay annually, they're going to give you a pretty big discount. But let's just go with the monthly plan. Let's say, for instance, you're just starting out. $24 a month will get you one sales channel. So that'll be like either Amazon or eBay or Shopify. You won't be able to link all of them in there. One user login, 100 monthly orders. That's good for somebody that's just starting out, but you're probably going to grow out of that really quickly. The next step up is a little bit more, but you're making a lot more, so it shouldn't hurt you too much. It's a really tiny hit against your OPEX, your operational expenditures. It's called the Growth Plan. It's $79 a month. It's 3 sales channels, so you can do eBay, Amazon, and Shopify if you want, or more, or whatever you want to use. Still one user, 1,000 monthly orders. And then the big boy, the big hitter, is the standard plan. It's $249 a month. It's 5 sales channels, 1 user, 3,000 monthly orders. They have graded plans after that. If you're doing more than 3,000 orders or you need another user, you have to pay more if you have more sales channels. Another thing to keep in mind is, let's say, for instance, you have multiple Amazon stores. They'll give you discounts if you want to do multiple sales channels of the same type. So if you pay for the growth plan and you have 3 different Amazon stores, that'll all count in. But if you want to, add other in there, let's say, for instance, you get to the standard plan and you have more than 5 sales channels, you get some discounts, which is pretty cool. You have to pay per user if you want to do more than 1 user. Normally 1 is good enough. And if you have more than 3,000 orders a month, you can talk to them and they'll hook you up. That's where we're sitting past the standard plan. They'll bill you in chunks of how many orders you have afterwards, and it's still relatively reasonable. It's not going to break the bank. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a sick platform. It's just we don't have an accountant that we use daily. It's very expensive to have an accountant that's personal for you. It's not easy for somebody in e-commerce to afford to hire an accountant. Accountants charge a lot of money, so paying a little bit a month for peace of mind and having all of this stuff automated is critical, especially for a business that's growing. In e-commerce, you can grow very quickly overnight, and that's exactly what happened to us. So, we looked for a form of automation right away. We found it, we're utilizing it, and I'm telling you, it's set it and forget it. It's for peace of mind, a couple $100 a month, believe me, you're going to want to spend it. And when you're making, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30, $100,000 a month, you can get away with having a full-time, you get away with not having a full-time account and using something like this to kind of bridge the gap. You know, it's going to save you a lot of money all in the end. And, you know, it leads to something I'm going to talk about later about keeping your books clean, making sure that you're satisfying all your tax requirements, making sure you're keeping track of every sale, every refund, every expense. Because if you ever get audited, you need to be able to answer to it. And that's why, you know, I'm going to get into talking about QuickBooks a little bit later, but this piece really just kind of in concert brings together that automation for accounting, which, you know, if you're not a genius at accounting and you don't know everything about it, QuickBooks and WebGility will really help you out. That way it's set it, like I said, set it and forget it. So yeah, that's our review. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you know, again, please reach out to us. We're here to help you guys out. We want to give back to you any way we can. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you do end up getting WebGility or any of the programs that we're talking about, and you feel differently, or you also like it, you know, please share with us, let us know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks, guys.